welcome back to the Fandamentals podcast, where we talk all things related to sports from a fan's perspective. What's going on, man?
Man, living it,
Living
loving
it,
it.
living it, living it, loving it. That's all we can do, man. Did you watch the game last night?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I watched most of this. I watched the second half. I missed most of the first half though.
Okay. Okay. Well, the second half was that was important to watch because that was
Yeah.
interesting.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That was the
Pretty,
game.
pretty good, man. It was a pretty good game. I
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. The series has been pretty surprising. Well, I won't say surprisingly because Indiana has been playing really good defense lately, but
Yeah.
it definitely has been a good series. They've been playing some tight
Good
nosed
ball.
defense out there. Some
Yeah.
good ball.
Yeah, for sure. I like what both defenses are doing. I like it. I also like the fact that you have these players like on both ends of the floor. Although the teams are young, on both ends of
Mm-hmm.
the floor you have dogs, right? Because as much as I've said that Halliburton doesn't do it for me,
Mm-hmm.
he's got that dog in him though.
Oh, he do.
He's got the dog in him. SGA has the dog in him. Williams, Dort, when you look at Siakam and and uh
Mm-hmm. And
and all of
Neesmith
them,
and
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 yes,
and
it,
yeah,
both teams got some dog.
yeah.
It's matched up well. It's been a good series.
Mm-hmm. It really has. It really has. I haven't been disappointed really by the series at all. I mean, I thought Oklahoma City would probably play a little bit better,
Yeah.
but overall, I just see what Indiana's been doing, and that's a shout out to like you said, they got them dogs out there, and they play really good defense. Toppin, he's been stepping up his
Yeah.
game off the bench. I mean, they've been really picking it up, and that's just good coaching too.
Yeah.
Carlisle
Oh
has
yeah.
been, you know, he's a good coach. He's showing
Hmm.
people that he's always been a good coach. Even when in Dallas, he was a good coach in Dallas. So it's just showing out that he's got them boys ready to play, and man, I'm just looking forward to seeing the rest of these 3 games. Hopefully, I wouldn't mind seeing it go 7. You know what I'm
Me
saying?
neither.
It's gonna at least
Like,
go 6, but yeah, I wouldn't
yeah,
mind seeing it go 7.
with the way the games have been, I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't mind a game. I wouldn't mind a game seven either. I mean, I know I picked OKC, but
Same.
the series has been so good. The play has been so exciting, and the games have been so exciting that I'm good either way. Like I'm at this point on, like I'm happy with what I've seen with
Yeah.
the in this finals.
Yeah.
Um, like and here's the thing. One of the things that I've noticed is SGA man, he with the way they've played defense on him, he keeps fighting and keeps
Mm-hmm.
fighting and keeps fighting. He still managed to have what, 32 last night? 32 or
Yep.
34? And
33, 34, something like
yeah,
that. Yeah.
something like that. And it was a hard fought 30 plus
Yeah.
points. I mean, you got to think in that at halftime he only had 14 points, and it was
Yeah.
that was a hard fought 14. And so when you got to the second half, that defense was on them, and they played aggressive. I did have some issues with some of the calls. Some of it was kind of ticky
Yeah.
tack.
Mm-hmm.
But in the last 5 minutes, they kind of got away from that and they let them play. So overall, I was very impressed with last night's game on both ends. Like I
Yep.
wouldn't have been mad at either team winning because they both like laid it out on there. I think last night Indiana had a couple mental miscues at the end, especially the three free throws that were missed. I think it was like three or
Mm-hmm.
four of them that were missed
Mm-hmm.
at the end. Those were big points to have missed, especially
Not only
from a player that shoots 89% from the free throw line.
Yeah, not only that, but those away from the play fouls. I mean,
Yes.
before the inbounds where
The inbound ones, yeah, that
those
led
hurt
to free
really too.
throws.
Yeah, that led
Yeah,
to free throws. Those ones that really really hurt because they were actually playing good defense. You know what I'm saying? And they was making it hard for them to get the ball in. But when you're doing like little things like that, that just kind of it kind of kills your vibe.
yeah, oh yeah,
You
it
made you
does.
made something that you got could have possibly got the ball back because y'all been playing good inbound defense, and then all of a sudden away from the play,
Yeah,
that just hurt. That gave them 3 points, and that's like a mental lapse at the end of the game there. But yeah, they
yeah,
overall though it was a really good game. I was actually satisfied, and
yeah,
like how you said, now I'm at the point where whoever wins wins. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I still pick OKC, but to see a good series, it gets you in that mode of it really doesn't matter who
It
wins
really doesn't
now.
matter
You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
Because it's like I just wanted to watch a good finals, and this is actually living up to being a really good finals. It's not no
Finals.
crazy blowouts to where one team is just completely outmatched. You know what I'm saying? They are really like grinding it out to try to get every single bucket that they can get, and that just makes it a lot more exciting to watch. And I mean, let's just be honest, man. Like this is what basketball should be about. You know what I'm saying? This is where
Oh yeah,
basketball is at. It ain't. I've been seeing great ball movement. I'm not seeing pick and roll past 3 point all day long. The
yeah.
same old, same old.
That's a
We
yeah,
we are literally watching downhill. Like I see Halliburton, he getting in the paint, downhill, kick, around perimeter passing, open shot.
yeah,
That's what I'm fine with when I'm watching 3 point shot shooting.
yeah,
Open shots is where it's at. Like you see OKC, they missed a bunch of threes last night. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. They
But
did.
they were missing ones that it's like y'all got the open shot, you just missed it. You know what I'm saying? That's different. But they only shooting like 20 something. They're not really a 3 point shooting team anyway.
Team, right?
And Indiana ain't jacking up shots like how you watch Boston just jack up threes. They're doing what they're supposed to do. The best thing to do: get into the paint, collapse a defense, get the open man that's open. You know what I'm saying? Like they're playing basketball. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
it is just this is what makes it much more enjoyable to watch. This is why
Absolutely.
I rather watch this game of this brand of basketball than watching what we watch 90% of the season, where it's just constantly, oh, I'm just gonna chunk up a three because I'm just here. I'm open or I'm partially open and I just
Yeah,
throw it up. Teams shooting 50 to 63 points at the game. That's crazy work, man.
yeah,
Like they are
yeah.
actually getting downhill. They're trying to get into the paint. They're trying to force the defense to make a decision. Both teams, like they're
Both
really
teams. Yeah,
just they're playing the game. I mean, they're playing the game that you're supposed to be trying to play. You know what I'm saying? If you got an open mid range jumper, you pull up for the open jumper. If you can
yeah,
create your shot, they're doing every single thing that you would hope that to see in basketball. So now it's just great to watch basketball. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
This is the brand of basketball that I love. I loved watching Halliburton drive to the paint on them layups
Mm-hmm.
where he kept
Mm-hmm.
driving and getting them layups. I loved watching that. I loved watching SGA keep dribbling. He's trying to get to the paint. He's not settling on that perimeter. He's trying to get to the paint. I loved watching Williams do it. I loved watching um, uh, Alex Caruso be fast and drive the ball coming off the
Mm-hmm.
bench. He was big. Like I loved watching that brand of basketball. People just not we just gonna pass on the perimeter the whole time and then in the last seconds shoot a three. No, they were
Nope.
trying to get inside. They were trying to
Yep.
get inside. And I loved every second of it. And it's unfortunate that people are saying, well, the ratings for this finals is low, and it's unfortunate that people, um, because here's the thing: me and you are fans of this sport. We love this game, right? We
Mm-hmm.
love basketball. We
Yeah.
love sports, right? So we watch and we see totally different. We're the casual fans that are not the casual fans, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
for real.
we're not the regular because there's a certain brand of basketball that we love, and there's some basketball as of recent that we've had issue with. And when we
Hmm.
see what we've seen in this series, it excites us.
Yep.
This ignited me. This is a brand of basketball that I'm like, oh, I love this. Like, this is a breath of fresh
Hmm.
air. And to watch both these teams, remember, we were both like, Indiana, I don't know. And I'm so happy as them. Like, I'm so
Yeah,
happy. Like,
yeah.
I'm
It
so
get
happy that this is the finals.
Yeah, it really, really. I mean, I would have think that you would probably see the same thing if it was OKC and the Knicks because the Knicks
Yeah,
already play a physical brand of basketball. But to
basketball.
watch Indiana, and it's not all offense, it's defense. It's the defense that's making it even more exciting because it's like
Yes.
watching, just watching, like you said, like SGA, he's getting hard 30s.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's great to see a dude just go off. You know what I'm saying? It's
Hmm.
a wonderful thing to see a dude go off. You know, yeah, we love the big score games. You know, I love seeing somebody go off for 40, 45, 50 every now and then, you know.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I love to see somebody go off for 30, a hard 30. You know what I'm saying? If
Yeah.
you can get a hard 30 and still get the win, that's exciting to me, you know, because
Right.
you worked your butt off to get what you got. You know what I'm saying? And you overcame. It's just it makes it, and I'm glad Indiana has. I'm actually glad to watch them right now because
Hmm.
like I said, like you, me and you were, Indiana wasn't nobody on the radar. I wasn't thinking about Indiana being exciting to really watch. I really don't really care to watch them usually throughout the year.
Right.
But then like just seeing how they play basketball now, I'm like, okay, the playoffs actually got you to open your eyes to be like, okay, 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 them boys out there balling. You know what I'm saying? It ain't a fluke. You know, you
Hmm.
watch the first series and you see, okay, they came back from 20 down against Cleveland. Okay, yeah, you know, Cleveland just didn't mismanage, and then you just see it over and over how they starting to play, and then you're noticing this defense is real. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? This is not no fluke. These boys is real. You know, and Halliburton is good to see him get aggressive. I don't like when he's playing passive. Yeah, I like him. You know what I'm saying? I like him scoring. You know, I want to see him involved. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think they're better. They're much better when he's involved in the offense, not just passing and being lax. And like the first, first game or the second game where he only had like 7, 8, 12 shots. Hey, understand if that's what the game ends up happening to be, but you're aggressive everywhere else, that's one thing. But when you just kind of like ain't really looking for shooting and you know that you are the driver of this team, they're going to go as he goes for the most part. Like Siakam is a good one. He can pick up and he can play. We know he can play. And he's
Right.
going to always give you something. But you see that when Halliburton is aggressive, coming downhill, trying to get to that paint, causing the defense to collapse, when he's being an aggressive force out there, they're better. They're
Yeah.
much better of a team and harder to play and harder to guard. But watching them is just like, okay, now I'm watching. Okay, I see you, Indiana. Okay,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
okay.
And,
So
and you
now it's kind of like you go in the next season. You like, I want to see what y'all gonna do in this off season. Y'all bring them boys back again,
too.
bro.
Yes.
Y'all. I don't want to hear nothing about Boston and Cleveland as the best teams in the East when we just watched what they
Hmm.
can do.
Yeah.
And this ain't about big name stars. That's the other thing that makes it great. There's a couple of you got SGA, who's the biggest star technically out of all the teams right now.
Yeah.
SGA, that's the big headline name. Halliburton, he's an all-star player. We know he's all-star caliber. Is he
Yeah.
superstar level? Nah, he ain't there yet. But
Not yet. Yeah.
he has potential to be something like that. But just to watch a game where it's just like we all love to see the stars play each other, but just to watch something where one person we know we're talking about SGA as being possibly like one of them face of the franchise type, face of the NBA type players. He's an MVP. He's getting all the publishing, the press. People love SGA, and you don't know where his ceiling is so high. But then you come out like you talking about people like Halliburton is just like he's a known name, but
Right.
now
Yeah.
we really gonna be okay. Okay,
Right.
let's go ahead and
And
watch Indiana a little bit.
you know what was so you brought up what I was going to bring up. This makes you excited for the East next season
Hmm.
because now you're like, all right, that you got to put some respect on Indiana now. You
Yep.
really, regardless of whether they win or lose the championship, you got to put some respect on it.
You
You
definitely.
because we got Cleveland, we got Boston, we got New York. Well, and so with New York, they're looking for a head coach, um, but you have Indiana that has to be a part of the conversation. It's
Yep.
no longer a conversation of just Boston. It's no longer a conversation of just Cleveland and Boston.
Hmm.
You got to include Indiana. You
Yeah.
can't leave them out of the conversation now. Now they're part of either way, whether they win or lose this finals, you got to respect them next year.
Yeah,
Um,
you do.
and,
And
and
on
go ahead.
and I was gonna say on top of that though, people can't sit there and say, "Oh, this was a fluke season." Remember, they were there last year, Eastern
Last year,
Conference
yeah,
Finals.
yeah,
So it's not no fluke that they're
fluke,
here again.
not a
This is no
fluke.
longer a fluke season. You have to put respect on their name, and that's what's
Yeah,
great. That's
yeah,
I'm loving. Like we talk about the West, and the West is top heavy. The West has like at least 8, 9 teams. We know the West is stacked. The East, we'd be like, eh. Well, now we know there's 4 teams in the East that you're gonna have to watch out for. Yeah, the
yes.
Knicks might be looking for a coach, but they still
They're
got the
still
personnel.
right.
So you talking about those 4 teams, and then you still got the up and coming ones like Orlando.
Yeah,
I think they're gonna probably be better next year. You know what I'm saying? You're looking at teams like from that standpoint, the
and
Orlando's.
let's say
What
Philly
about
with
the Philly?
Embiid.
I'm about to say, what if Philly comes back with a healthier Embiid? Now we
Yeah,
hoping for a healthy Embiid, but
Embiid,
they
right?
got Tyrese Maxey, you
Yes.
know, Paul George, whatever you're gonna do with Paul George, whatever. I don't know, but
Yeah,
he if he comes back healthy and they play a better brand of basketball, you're talking about Philly being up there again. I hope Miami does something. We're still going to be talking about the Bucks of unfortunately without Dame for a while.
yeah,
Um, so the East has the potential. The West, we already know where they at. They got a whole bunch going on in the West, but the East got potential of being no longer being a Eastern Conference type ordeal. Like they showing that, hey, look, we bullies out here too.
yeah.
The
Oh
West
yeah.
might dominate during the regular season, but
Season. Yeah,
this playoff showing something different with some of these. Like this finals is showing, hey, we got
yeah,
your best team, and this ain't even our best team.
yeah.
Standings wise,
Wise, right?
Indiana ain't the best team. We know that was Cleveland. Indiana
Yeah,
knocked off the best team. You know,
yeah,
hey, Boston, we could sit there and be like, oh, Tatum was out. That didn't really mean much. Tatum was playing when they lost to the Knicks too. So
yeah, yeah,
we're looking at Boston. It's just like, well, y'all lost to the Knicks. So it's just kind of like that East is kind of
yeah.
yeah, make you scratch your head and be
Make
like,
you
hmm.
scratch your head. Now, it's interesting because we brought up the East and we brought up the West, right? I
Mm-hmm.
have been hearing little birdies talk about Kevin Durant possibly going to New York, but I've also heard possibly going to San Antonio. Don't know how true it is, but I want to talk about if Kevin Durant went to New York, what kind of dynamic do you see there? Does that make New York a better team? First, the first thing they're gonna have to address a head coach
Yeah,
first.
that's first and foremost.
But
First and foremost.
does this give New York an edge at all, or
I'm gonna say yes.
yeah,
I'm gonna say yes.
okay,
This is the reason because I feel like if you get a Kevin Durant, let's just say you're gonna have to probably give up Cat. You're gonna probably have to give
okay,
up. You're gonna have to give up. Karl Anthony Towns. Karl Anthony Towns is a hell of a player. We know this. He's a good player. He's inconsistent a lot of times. So you taking a Karl Anthony Towns, you moving in a Kevin Durant. Now you lose the rebounding side. Defense, they about to wash. KD's gonna probably cause more problems offensively because KD is a lot more consistent than Karl Anthony Towns is. A lot
Okay,
more consistent.
offensively, yes.
Yes. So he's gonna give you. You're gonna have to worry about Kevin Durant every night. It ain't like you got to worry about Cat, but Cat doesn't. He doesn't do it for you every night. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? He got a 50-point night, then the next night he might be throwing out 13 and 8. He might be in foul trouble. KD don't foul like that. He's never really in foul trouble most of the time.
right.
Defense wise, like I said, KD can play better perimeter defense than Karl Anthony Towns can because he can move a little bit quicker.
Yeah,
But and then offensively, we know KD shoots 50% from the field, man. Like,
yeah,
and
yeah,
then he's a bucket. He's a bucket getter. He ain't missing free throws.
yeah,
He's gonna give Brunson another option that he can constantly rely on.
yeah,
Another
yeah,
wing
yeah,
option.
yeah.
Now you know it gives you options to like move Anunoby. Like let's just say they keep the same structure. You know, Cat's gonna already like if you do a trade or whatever. You know, Cat's already the matching finances. You feel me?
Right, 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 right.
It ain't. You don't really have to lose like a Bridges. I doubt they're gonna lose a Bridges or an OG because Cat's gonna probably be there. You might have to give up a couple of maybe a draft pick or two. I don't know. I don't know how that structure will go, but we already know Cat's gonna probably be a part of that. But I would rather take Kevin Durant. And people are gonna probably think differently because Kevin Durant hasn't seen much playoff action since leaving Golden State. And I get what they're coming from, but that's not all Kevin Durant's fault. The problem with a lot of teams is that when they brought Kevin Durant in, they dissected their whole team to get a Kevin
To
Durant.
get a
You
kid,
see what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah,
So when you kill your whole squad to try to get somebody like KD in a trade, and you just gave up all your assets, then yeah, you're gonna be looking pretty BS shitball. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, 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 for sure.
But in this scenario, I don't think you're killing all your assets for a 37-year-old Kevin Durant and a 32-year-old cat or 30. He might be pushing 30.
Yeah,
So
ballpark,
you're not,
30,
yeah,
30.
you're not going to be killing your whole entire team to bring in a Kevin Durant this time around.
Right, yeah, that makes sense.
So now you're keeping a bunch of these assets. You're pairing them with somebody like a Jalen Brunson, and then if you're coming back with like an OG on Anunoby, who's defensively, we know he can play defense. Bridges can play some defense. You know, you keeping somebody like a Mitchell Robinson, so KD ain't got to play a five. You got a five. All you got to do is try to figure out who you're gonna put else, in the free
And
agency,
the
because
yeah,
the biggest thing is matching that money, and because Cat's gonna match that money for the most part, you know what I'm saying?
right,
New York with a Kevin Durant, whoo boy, I
yeah,
don't know. That's
yeah.
gonna be something else because now you worried about it. Ain't like a Devin Booker and KD, and then you
The
got a
yeah,
Bradley Beal on the bench or something like that, and you're like, oh well, there's the scoring, but where's everything else?
else,
They ain't
everything
got
else,
nothing else.
nothing.
Now you
Yeah,
like, I gotta worry about a Brunson. I gotta worry about a KD. I gotta worry about an
and
Ginobili or something
yeah,
like that. I gotta
yeah,
worry about, and then if you can still keep somebody like a Josh Hart.
yeah. Yeah, those are good pieces to have when you have a Kevin Durant. Those are really good
Yes.
pieces when you break it down like that. Those are really good pieces to have around Kevin Durant, and Jalen Brunson has a certain kind of dog in him.
Yep.
I would even say that you would be able to package something to be able to lose Towns and maybe get a center. I mean, you get another
Yeah.
a big man. It doesn't have to
Yeah.
be somebody expensive. You need somebody that can grab, snatch you some rebounds, and play a little bit of defense. Nothing
Yeah.
crazy, but that could be a crazy scenario. Um,
Bro. Mm-hmm.
I I I I would like to see it for Kevin Durant, but it
Yeah,
also matters who could they get as coach. And so far, everybody that I don't know if you saw, they've
yeah,
tried to,
they've been denying all of them, all
yeah,
the coaches.
all the
Yeah,
coaches have denied
but
it.
see, and that's the thing. They're going for coaches for other teams though.
Teams,
Why would I
right?
wanna? Why would I
Go get
wanna?
him. Go
No,
get you a
like
Mark Jackson.
Idoka. Come on now, you ain't gonna get a
You're not
Idoka.
getting
He's
it.
not
If
going
if
nowhere.
I'm a Doka, I wouldn't leave Houston no way.
Me neither. You know what I'm saying? And then you talking about, you trying to go for Jason Kidd. Why? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, if I'm the Mavericks, I'm not letting him go.
No.
But you have, like you said, there's a Mark Jackson that you could probably try to get as a coach.
Mm-hmm.
Not
Which would
only
be a
that, Mike Malone,
yeah,
he's out there. He's a free agent coach. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? He's out there. You can go get him. Um, there's coaches that are out there for you to actually go and
Budenholzer.
get. Budhauser is another one.
Yeah.
You can actually go get you a coach that has championship pedigree.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or you don't have to try to pry from another team. You know, I'm not letting go of my coach if I done did pretty good or whatever.
Right.
Like the Mavericks, why would I want to give up Jason Kidd when I'm trying to go get somebody like a Cooper Flag?
Flag. Exactly. I'm finna get Cooper Flag. I got the
Yeah.
first pick in the draft.
So
I'm finna get
why am I
Cooper.
going to have
Why
to
am I?
try to figure out what my coach is going to look like
Right.
when I got this coach who's already been known to coach players into being good players,
Right.
and then you want me to go out here and nah, I'm not giving y'all that.
Right.
I'm not giving y'all that. And then
Right.
like you said with Idoka, why would I want to leave this young team that I done groomed to be
Got
this good this early?
right.
Because it's only he's only 2 years in,
3. Yeah. This next
two or
year will be his
three,
third. Yeah. Yeah.
and
Two
look what they
years
done
in.
did.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? They done went from a non-playoff or bare. I think they went to though they didn't make the playoffs last year. I know they didn't make it, or they were in the play-in
They were in the
to a
play-in
number 2 seed.
to a number 2 seed. Exactly.
Why am
This
I?
current. Yeah.
Why am I going? No, I'm not
Yeah.
doing that.
You
You know
think
what I'm
I'm gonna
saying?
give that coach up? Crazy?
For real, like, bro, no, this is not what's happening here.
Yeah.
We're not doing that.
Right.
So
At all.
yeah, and I wouldn't give up none of my coaches for that. So
No.
New York, there's coaches out there. Go get you
Yeah.
a Mike Malone.
Yeah.
He got a ring. I
Yeah.
don't know what Denver was thinking about letting him go. I guess they got tired of him. I don't know, but I'm gonna go get a Mike Malone or somebody. Hey, look, hey, I got. He knows how to play with an aggressive point guard
Yeah. He does.
because we know he had that firecracker down there in Utah. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Any given night, Murray's gonna light you up for 30 to 50 points. We seen him do it. He knows how
Yeah.
to play with that. He knows how to
Yeah.
play with a team. Even if they don't get a Kevin Durant, he knows how to play with a big man that has a skill set of Karl Anthony Towns that
Towns.
can that
Right.
can play
He's been dealing
big
with
and
that in Denver for what, 5, 6 years?
yeah, six,
Yeah.
7, something like that.
Yeah.
He's been there.
He's
So
been there. Yeah.
that's who. If I'm New York, that's who's on my radar.
Yeah.
I'm
For
getting him
sure.
somebody like I would love to see Mark Jackson be back into the league again, as a head coach, but he's been out for so long. But to get somebody that I know that has worked with, I would definitely go. That would be my number one right now. Would
That
be
would be your, yeah.
Mike Malone. Unless Mike Malone just don't really want to coach or something like that, that would be my number one. I would try to seek out him. Budenholzer, he's pretty good. You know what I'm saying? I like him as a coach too. He's did some big things with Milwaukee. You know what I'm saying? He's good with playing with 1 star type ordeals.
Yeah.
I don't think he had a fair chance out in Phoenix anyway.
I don't
When
either.
they had him there, because he was inheriting a trash team. So
Yeah.
you know I couldn't expect him to make diamonds out of that BS they had going on out of there. So
No.
give them a team that they have that's already kind of constructed to be a winner and see what they do with that.
Yeah.
And then if you gotta go
It's
for Mark Jackson or a Stan
Monty
Van
Williams.
Gundy or you know a Monty
It's
Williams or
Yeah,
something, I
it's
don't know.
coaches available, and here's the thing: these coaches that are available aren't bad coaches. Like they're not really bad coaches. Some of them got the shit end of the stick,
Yeah,
but
Big
they're not
time.
really bad coaches. You know, like if you know, like obviously we know certain coaches can do certain things with certain players. And
Mm-hmm.
then sometimes like you may have a coach that could be like, I could do this with players that are already developed, but I can make these already developed players work together like this. Then you have coaches like Aduka that can build up a young team. You know what I mean? So like you have different, and that plane was loud. You had yeah, plane flew right over. Um, but you have different coaches that can do different things. You have to figure out. You have to really sit down. Like New York's ownership has to really sit down, figure out what are we looking for. Like what are the moves?
Mm-hmm.
What is our roster going to look like? And what coach can fit with what we have. Like I think
Facts.
owners, I think GMs and stuff, they're just sometimes they're just taking coaches or just taking players and not thinking about the whole perspective. I think what's missing is some of these GMs are just taking names and not looking at how do they fit with the team. Like
Yeah.
how does this puzzle piece fit? Building a team is literally building a puzzle. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, like I hate to compare it to like Madden or NBA 2K and stuff like that when you're in, but some of that, like playing that, some of that matters, right? Like you have to have
Yeah.
a coach that fits within the constructs of what you have, and you got to take free agents and players. Like teams are sometimes they just take free agents, not thinking about the total. How does it fit? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
example, case in point, Phoenix Suns.
Yep.
You just got players. You
Yeah.
didn't
You
take
just
into account how it fits.
exactly. Exactly. And that's the part of roster construction, man. Like you gotta learn how to construct a team roster. It ain't just about I just get the biggest name. The
Yeah,
biggest name don't always bring you what you're looking for.
exactly.
They put seats in the stands, but they put people's butts in the stands. But if you ain't got a squad that's worth a damn,
Then
what's the
yeah,
point of getting it? What's the
what's
point
it
of getting a
matter?
big name if you ain't gonna be able to win nothing with it? You know what I'm saying? Or you
Oh,
can't do
agreed.
nothing with the roster around it.
Agreed.
And I think with New York, because y'all aren't looking to rebuild anything, y'all don't have draft picks because you pretty much shipped them off of the way to get Bridges to New York. So you don't really have any draft picks, so you're not looking at the draft to build through.
Right.
So and you're like that for a couple of seasons, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, strap.
But
Couple seasons,
so
yeah.
you need to be figuring out what coach can I bring in that is already that is built to coach a team that is already constructed.
Yes.
Because whether you go get a KD or you go get a Giannis, whatever might happen, even if you don't, you have a team that is already constructed. Your problem was the fact that you had no plans coaching wise. Because I don't see you firing Tibbs. It's like, why would you fire a coach
And you don't know who you're gonna get.
and you don't know who your next coach will be?
Yeah.
Like, I guess they wanted to go get Jason Kidd or whatever, but that was never guaranteed. So why would you fire a coach who's already been established? Could you imagine what Tibbs would do with a KD?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Come
Yeah.
on, man.
Yeah.
Come on, man. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, could you imagine what he would do with a KD on his squad?
Mm-hmm.
We've seen what he does with superstar players. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I think that's New York is just we need to find a fit for a coach that's gonna fit for what we have now because we aren't building for a future. We're building for now. So you go get a
Yeah.
Mike Malone. That's what I would say. Go get you a Mike Malone. Right now, he's the top of my list.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're a Knicks guy, yeah. The
Yeah,
top.
that's who I'm looking at right now. But
Right.
yeah, that's I mean that's where it's at with me.
Yeah. Yeah. I you know, to go back to us talking about the finals because we got here, you know, talking about just basketball in general. Uh
Hmm.
all of that, you know, that came up because I'm very excited for next season. The reason why is because I feel like this finals has let me know that the East is deeper than we thought, right? And it's
Hmm.
going to just make things that much better next year. I'm excited for it. Um, now with
I
with
agree.
with all that said, we're gonna see the draft and what the draft is in a couple weeks, ain't it? Like 2
Hmm.
weeks, I think it is. We're
Yeah,
gonna
a
see the
couple of
draft.
weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna see where Cooper Flag goes, all of that. Now Dallas ended up getting the number one pick. Lottery, fell perfect for them. Are we still looking at the Luca trade as a fail, or I mean, obviously it accidentally worked out, So
I mean,
does this, or is it a remain to be seen thing because we have to watch next season?
I think it's a remain to be seen thing. The reason why I say that is because we seen what happened with Dallas after the Luka trade. They just got plagued with injuries all across the board.
Yeah,
Kyrie goes out. All their centers are pretty much gone except for
yeah,
AD, who came back at the end.
yeah,
You know, we seen what he can do by himself when he was in the play-in, that one play-in game. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah,
but they were really running around with scraps
yeah,
since the Luca trade, pretty much.
yeah,
AD came in, he looked really good. He goes out. That's the biggest part of the Luca trade that you could look at and be like, see, because
yeah,
we know Anthony Davis is not always healthy, but as far as talent wise and skill set wise, he's probably one of the best players in the league right still.
yeah, 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 for
Even
sure.
if he's not healthy, there's not very many players you're gonna say is better than Anthony Davis.
Right.
Let's just keep it a buck. You could
No, I
say
agree.
what y'all want, but offensively and defensively,
I
he,
agree.
he's probably one of the better two-way players, especially at the big man position in the game right now.
Right. No, I agree.
Um, so we know where he stands at, and then you could kind of say it's still TBA I mean TBD because the Lakers didn't fare much better.
Not really. When you
They
really
went to
look at it,
when you really look at it, they got to the playoffs, but they were first round exit in 5 games.
yeah,
So you really didn't do much better than a team that didn't get into the playoffs on the last playing game. You didn't really, you're not really. You could say, well, at least they made the playoffs, but they've made the playoffs the last few seasons before this season too,
yeah,
without Luca.
right,
So what are we really talking about? They didn't do no more. They didn't do better in the playoffs with Luca, but we already know roster construction is a big thing.
yeah,
So we'll have to see how the Lakers pan out with Luca the next season, how Dallas is gonna pan out with the full season of AD off season and all that stuff. This is one of those TBD type trades to me.
yeah,
Star for star power like that, we can sit there and say Luka was better. He's a better offensive star than Anthony Davis. I still, and this is just my opinion, I still don't think he's, as far as a talent, I don't think he's better than AD overall. That's
really,
just my opinion.
yeah.
No,
I I I
because I could
I
take
understand
AD
that.
what he lack, yeah, what he lacks in offense,
He
but
makes
he
up
plays a
for
big
on
man's
defense.
position. He
Yeah,
makes for it up on defense, and we
yeah,
know what he can do.
yeah,
Luca is definitely a better offensive talent, but we know he ain't bringing no defense to the game.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Luka Ontic. He ain't got no D
Yeah.
in his.
The
but
the thing with Luca though, the thing with Luca is I think he can play defense. I think he's just lazy on the defensive end. I think he reserves the energy to play offense. Like he
let's see,
the and that's the issue.
and that's my problem. I ain't giving you no bennies because there's no reason.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
not to me. That's not an excuse.
You're right.
You want to
You're
go?
right.
You already. It's like you already play slow offensively.
Yeah.
So why are you lacking on defense? It ain't like you got to go crazy offensively. You play slow.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you get to the. He does things that I'll be like, how in the heck did y'all let this slow dude get by you? Yeah, I'm a big guy. You know what I'm saying? I know what it is about being slow, but
Yeah.
but I ain't making no fun of him like that. But he
Yeah.
plays slow. It's
Yeah.
just that's it. But he angles really well. That's why Luka can play a 48-minute game and not really be extremely tired at the end of the game. I mean, he's gonna be tired. Don't get him wrong. They ain't gonna sit here and say he's a dang. Uh, he could go the whole game and not be tired. I'm
Yeah.
just saying he plays a slower brand of basketball, and so you reserving a lot defensively kind of makes no sense to me when I'm watching people like that actually like an Anthony Edwards that might go hard both sides of the floor all day long. You know what I'm saying? Or try
Yeah.
to at least.
Right.
And it's just like there's no excuse for that. See, that's my problem with a lot of people when they be like, "Well, I would pick him over," because nobody respects defense anymore. It seems that's what it seems like. Nobody respects the defensive side.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
No, I'm with
watch
you.
we watch basketball all day long, and yeah, when we see that Anthony Davis trade, we were like, "Oh, they so stupid for giving up Luca because he's." I understand the young talent, the youngness, yeah, young superstar.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? But if you're looking from a basketball construct, let's just and unfortunately we have to play hypotheticals.
Right.
Hypothetically, let's just say Anthony Davis was one of those dudes that barely ever get injured. What kind of legacy or what would you be saying about this man if he never got injured?
That's true. He'd be one of the best ever.
That's my point.
He'd be in the conversation for one of the
He would
best
be
players to ever play.
as one of the best because when we was talking about him down there in New Orleans by himself,
Yeah.
and when he was playing them healthier games, and this man was filling up your stat sheets offensively, defensively, all across the board,
Or
and he
yeah.
wasn't shooting 3-pointers at that time either. We were talking about he's one of the best players in the dang game.
Yeah, that's true.
Now he getting it. I mean, he was injured during those times, so we was hoping that he would be healthy. It's like watching Embiid. What do you say about Embiid if he never gets injured?
Yeah.
What kind of conversation you having then?
Yeah.
Because Embiid does something that
The same this
Jokic doesn't do.
the same conversation that we have about Yao Ming, the same conversation that we have about T
Yeah,
Mac, their
yeah,
their legacy is scarred by injury,
exactly.
but they were some of the greatest players that we've watched when healthy. Same thing with Penny Hardaway.
Exactly,
So like,
exactly. When you was talking about the Lakers, like we talk about the bubble championship,
yeah,
but when you was watching that whole entire playoff run, yeah, LeBron had his games. He had a bunch of games. But let's not act like AD was not a driving force behind all that.
but yeah, he was.
Let's not like people. Come on, man. Let's just say you could easily give
A,
him an in. Let's
a,
not act like AD was not the reason a lot of times the Lakers were winning games. A
a,
healthy AD and LeBron,
yeah.
but when AD was on the court, healthy and aggressive.
You you know the most important. I agree with you. The most important part of that championship was AD and Dwight Howard's defense.
Yeah, yeah,
AD and Dwight Howard's defense were
yes,
the most important pieces.
and that's a fact. It's a fact.
Like
That
that's
defense.
just what it was.
Yeah, and when you were talking about those Lakers teams, even the ones where they went to the conference finals against Denver.
Denver,
When
yeah.
you watch that season, I mean, when you watch that conference finals, AD was balling for a while. One man can't do it all. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying? But AD was going toe to toe against Jokic.
Yeah.
Then the games where he kind of faded off, they really weren't looking at. But there's games he done had 30 and 10, 30 and 15. He's giving you. You're looking at a man that can give you easily 30, 15, 3 and 3.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about 3 assists. I'm talking about 3 blocks, 3 steals.
Yeah.
That's AD. You know what I'm saying? So it's like people need to really get off like this whole thing that AD ain't a superstar. We see what he
Oh,
did
he's a
with what he
superstar for sure.
yeah, we see what he did with the Mavericks. When his first game he was there.
Yeah.
Coming back from the injury. He was man, they couldn't do nothing with him. When
Yeah,
he's
you're
on,
right.
Nobody can do
Until
anything
he
what
got
they do.
hurt, he was going off.
He's quicker than most big men.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He can get around a lot of big men. He's quicker than most big men. He can play defense. He can play perimeter defense. He can play post defense. He's your rim protector. He's a load to get around because of his athleticism. He's quick and for his size. So it's like that's why I say it's still TBD because although in the long run, because Anthony Davis, I really feel he's kind of going to be more on the he's on the tail end of a
Yeah.
career versus
Yeah.
somebody that's escalating to
Right.
being into his prime. So in the long run, the Lakers win out regardless because in the long run, Luca, unless something catastrophic happens with Luca,
Happens. Yeah.
a devastating injury, hopefully not. I like watching Luca play,
Yeah.
but unless something catastrophic happens, you're gonna be looking like, okay, down the line, yeah, the Lakers set themselves up better, and the Mavericks, as far as that trade is concerned, doesn't. But then when you factor in, well, the Mavericks getting Cooper Flag, we don't know what he's gonna be, but who's to say Cooper Flag might not be a missing link for them boys to
Yeah.
replace what they had?
Right.
Because I hate. I'm not a Duke fan at all. I can't stand Duke. They get on
I,
my damn nerves.
hey,
But when,
yeah.
bruh, like I can't. Don't even.
Yeah.
No, no,
Yeah.
no, 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 no. But I will say that boy was bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh
Cooper
yeah.
Flag was bad.
Cooper Flag
He's
is
like that
NBA
Swiss
ready.
Army knife.
Yeah.
Yes, he's like a Swiss Army knife. He can do every single thing you ask of him to do on the
Right.
court.
Yeah.
He can give you the points and he can play defense. I watched him do it.
Yeah.
Like
No, he's
this dude
NBA
was
ready for
crazy.
sure. Yeah.
Yes. So, hey, as far as the trade is concerned, to TBD, am I excited about to see what the Mavericks can do with the Cooper Flag on there? Yeah, I would love to see the Mavericks what they could do healthy. I want to see what Luka looks like because he's looking like he's in shape. He looks like
Yeah.
he's been in the gym. He's in shape.
He's in.
I want to
Yeah.
see him commit himself a little more defensively. I don't mind if his offense takes a hit. Just if he
It, it,
brings,
it-
instead of being a 32, 30 point, 28 points, if you come down to 26,
and
but you
your
giving me better
defense is
defense,
elevated. We're good with that. We're good with that. I agree 1,000%. That's that right there is all that's needed. Hey, I'm willing to take a 2 3 point average less for your
hmm
defense to be elevated. Specifically because you playing some decent defense would have won y'all some games. Would like
yes, sir.
they would it would have won y'all some more games.
Yeah,
I look,
it would
I
have been a whole different series
right.
if Luka Doncic was better defensively
Yeah. And
against
I've
Minnesota.
defended Luca. I've defended Luca. Um but I'm also realistic, and look, you got to be critical of his defense. Was it was it a team thing?
Yes, it
Like the
was a team
Lakers
thing.
across the board su- stunk
Yeah,
defensively, but Luca is, I'd say, about 25 to 30% of it, right? And I had to come to grips with that. I tried to defend it early on because to save face. But but I'm gonna be realistic. I'm gonna be realistic, and Luca's a big part in it. So when you really sit down, break it down, that's what we need to see. We need to see a better brand of defense from Luca, and I think that translates into some more winning.
I definitely believe it does. I believe it translates in a. I believe y'all win a lot more games with them playing better defense. I mean,
For
that's
sure.
just. I mean, to be honest with you, it goes without saying. You play better defense, you're gonna win ball games.
But yeah,
You're gonna win more ball games.
yeah.
But I would just like to see it. I just want to see something different from him. Like I don't have a problem with him offensively. You don't need to work on your offense. Like he can get out the bed and score 30. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
he can give me a triple dub in his sleep. But I don't I want to see you committed more defensively. And that's just been the biggest problem with Luca. That's been my really only gripe with them. other than that, I don't care. We know even him being out of shape, Luca being a little bit heavier set, he's still been dominating the game. So you can't really say nothing there. But that's the only thing I want to see out of him. Hey man, just commit better, just play better defense, and let's just see what you really can do after that.
Yeah, I'm with you. Now, with that said, obviously after the draft, and after all the off season things that we're gonna watch, um,
Hmm.
I would like, before we, because I do want to talk, I do want to get into some football. I want to talk about the running backs.
Yeah, most definitely.
Before we get out of here, before we end this episode. But I got one more basketball question for you, and I'm dying to know your answer. If Kevin Durant, and I'm just going based on, I listen to a lot of NBA stuff on the radio
Hmm.
and Bleacher Report, and I do listen to other podcasts.
Right.
I I heard, I'm not even gonna say the person's name. I heard a specific analyst say if Kevin Durant goes to San Antonio, that makes San Antonio a contender. Your thoughts? I disagree wholeheartedly. I do not believe that him going to San Antonio makes him a contender simply because they're in the West. Your thoughts? I'm curious to know what you have to say about that.
It makes them a playoff team.
It does not make them a contender. It makes them a
Yeah, I
playoff
mean
team.
they can intend to be in the playoffs. I mean they can get that. I don't think that if we're talking about a championship contender, no. I think
Oh,
there are a couple of there's still some years away from
talk
that.
about a
There's some
reach.
years from the yeah.
Talk about a
Um,
reach.
I don't agree with that at all. Uh, I mean it's just really just reality is set is the truth. It's
It's,
like
yes, like that in
Like,
no way,
where do
shape,
you
or
see
form.
them? If you're looking at the West, where do you see them with the? I mean, it's gonna make them a problem. Let's just be honest. Yes,
Yeah, that could give
but
some
I
people
just
fit
don't. I
because
just
you
don't
got
really
Castle,
see it.
you got
Yeah, what I'm saying, you
yeah,
got Castle, you got Wimby. You know what I'm saying? You got some talent out there. You do, but I'm not really sold if that makes them the contender or not. Because Wimby, yeah, Wimbyama's pretty good. He's solid, but he's going into his third year. You know, he's been a solid player, but I don't think it tips the scale that much like that. Because then,
I don't either.
I mean, just that
I,
long
I
linkiness is
I
going to be a
thought about it.
problematic
Yeah,
situation. But I
I
don't.
thought about it and I was just
It's
like,
the pieces
how?
around. It's
Yeah,
the pieces around.
I
You
was like,
got young pieces, so don't get me wrong. They're young and up and coming, and they can make some noise if they keep a Chris Paul and he comes back or his 36, 38. For his 20 something or 16, 19, how many years Chris Paul done been in the league.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? He's been in there just as long as like LeBron and all them boys anyway. But he's getting older. He's not getting any younger or better. He's where he's at. So I think he could be a good facilitator for that still. Darren Fox, they, Fox is a dope point guard. He's a
yeah.
scoring guard. I won't put them over that hump. I can see them getting to the playoffs. I just can't see them getting past maybe like all these other talented teams because they're gonna have a problem against teams like the Rockets.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? They're still
yeah.
gonna have a problem against you got the Rockets that's out there. You
You got
still got the Nuggets out
Minnesota.
there.
You
You
got
still got
yeah,
Minnesota up and coming. You're gonna have OKC still out there.
yeah, yeah.
I mean,
You
there's
have
so many
Golden
teams.
State
You got
still
the
out there.
Lakers still out there. The
Yeah,
Golden State is gonna still be a contending problem.
yeah.
I don't really see them doing that much. You still got Memphis out there that is gonna get better
Right.
depending on whatever happens there. I'm pretty sure of it. And it's just like, yeah, I don't see it.
Yeah, I
I
don't
don't
either.
see it.
I thought it
I
was a huge reach, and I was like,
he reached for the stars on that one. That's
yeah,
for
that
sure.
was like a
That's definitely for
huge
sure.
reach, huge
Yeah,
reach.
but
Um,
they'll be good. They'll be better definitely.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah, that'll be
I
better.
don't think
But
they
we
championship
don't know
pedigree.
where KD is going. Like I said, I've heard those two teams, the Knicks and San Antonio.
Hmm.
I like it does make the off season basketball stuff exciting to who are the Knicks going to pick up as coach? Where is KD going? All of that stuff. All of that's exciting, but at the end of the
And then
day,
at the same time, at the end of the day, nothing might move because Kevin Durant's
nothing.
not a free agent, and neither is Giannis.
Yeah.
So
So none
it
of
might
that.
not even be really
Even with
any of those
Giannis
bodies
voicing that
moving.
he doesn't know his future with the Milwaukee Bucks, and
I
we
think he's still going to stay with Milwaukee, but
I
that's
agree
just
with
me.
you. I agree with you, and we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
We don't
I
know
heard about a thing about Ja Morant, them possibly trading him off. But
really.
I seen something. I seen something. I don't know if it was just
Hmm.
one of those possibility, like a lot of people like coming out with
Yeah.
predicting or whatever. I
Yeah.
heard about like it was talking about like Ja Morant to Miami or something. It was something I had seen, something like that, and I'm
That
like,
could be crazy.
hmm,
They would need to
it
get a
really
big
could.
man. They still need to
It
get a
could,
big man.
but yeah, they still
Yeah.
need a big man.
Yeah.
So
They still got to get a big man.
Miami won't. Miami don't need to do anything else besides look for somebody to help Bam Adebayo in that
Period.
paint.
Period.
I don't know what kind of crack they've been smoking or whatever, what they've been on. Hey,
Yeah.
I don't see how you ain't got a big man by now to help back him up. It's
See,
just
and
it's a
that's the
small
thing.
ball league.
And
That's stupidness.
but here's the thing that's crazy. It's not even like that was something that just came up last year. That's something we've been saying for years.
Yeah,
That's something we've been saying for like 3, 4 years. Get
this
Bam
is facts.
Adebayo a big man with him in the paint. That's not a new concept. That's like that's not nothing new. And I don't understand
Nothing.
like how Miami
Not at all.
as an organization has not picked up on that. And maybe it's because Jimmy Butler has been able to carry them over these humps.
They've been getting away with not having a big name or a big man. They've been getting away with it. That's what it is.
And so they
It's kind of
felt,
like it's kind of like watching Golden State. Golden
yeah,
State keeps getting away with not having a legitimate big
big
man.
man. Yeah. Yeah.
But you ain't Golden State. So
Yeah.
let's just cut the crap.
Right.
Like go get you somebody that you can go and be like, "Hey Bam, let me go and put you out the game for a little bit, get you some rest so we can." You ain't even got to get a big man that's going to give you 30, 40 points or anything. Like, get you one that can give you a good 10, 15 and some 10, 15 rebound.
Go out,
I
go
don't
out
know
there and try to
who it's
get
going to
a
be, but
buddy
just
from
try to get
Charlotte.
somebody. Yeah,
Yeah,
Williams. The
Williams.
one
Yeah,
that y'all tried to get.
yeah. Go out there and get you Williams. That would be that would be a great pickup for
Yeah,
Miami.
for real.
That'd
That
be
really would.
big
It
for
really
them.
would.
It
But that's
just,
all they really need.
yeah,
They need to figure out how to get somebody that can give Bam some help. That can either A, you can move Bam to the 4 instead of the 5
which,
and play,
yeah,
or
but
you can get him somebody that's just going to come off the bench and be a good role player for him. That's going to give him good quality minutes.
yeah, for
But
sure.
they need to do something with their interior. That's just it. Bam is getting y'all gonna burn him out real quick. You talking about Tibbs burning out
Oh, you
somebody?
about to,
Hell,
yeah, yeah. Miami not getting another big man to help Bam is gonna
that's
ultimately
diabolical.
shorten. Yeah, especially for this many years, it is diabolical.
Yeah,
Um,
that's diabolical.
let's get into some NFL. Let's talk about some running backs, man. Uh,
All right.
over the last couple of years, we've seen where the running back position has been devalued. We talked about that, and
Mm-hmm.
last year we seen a resurgence where we see where the running back position is more important than we might have thought, or owners might have thought.
And they have thought.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I've always thought that the running back position, even in a passing league, the running back position matters because it sets up the pass. Not only that, you need good
Yep.
blocking running backs, right? So like that's important. I was looking
Yeah.
and I was looking at some of the running back rankings, and it made me want to talk, want to have the discussion about the running back position next year. First of all,
Mm-hmm.
we know who the top we know you're Derrick Henry, you're a Saquon Barkley's. But then it gets, I don't even think it's necessarily cloudy after that. Those are just the premier names. But there are some clutch names out there that I feel like people aren't talking about enough that should be utilized in better ways that could help. One of them being Jonathan Taylor,
Yes.
you know, and
If he could stay healthy, yes.
if he can stay healthy. Outside of the Derrick Henrys and the Saquon Barkleys, uh, who's your next guy? Who would you say is like neck and neck with them or right behind them? Who do you got?
Well, we just named one, Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah,
If he could stay healthy, he's one. You got Jameer Gibbs.
Jameer Gibbs with Detroit.
He's
Yeah,
another one. Yep, he's another one. I'm gonna go ahead and let me see. Let me think. You still got Joe Mixon.
still got Joe Mixon who still
You
can
have
do big things.
there's Josh Jacobs,
Josh Jacobs. Yes, there's
Kyron Williams.
Kyron Williams,
You can't
Bijan
utilize him
Robinson.
right. Bijan Robinson. Yep. Aaron Jones. He's still out there.
Aaron Jones
Did
is
we?
still out
It's like
there.
we forget about him. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
Aaron Jones. James Conner.
Um,
We forget about him because he
James
plays for
Conner. Yeah,
Arizona.
because he plays for Arizona. You know what I'm saying? Who else we got that up and coming? But those are the big ones that jump off the board right there off top. You still got if Carolina's worth the dang,
Chuba
Hubbard,
Hubbard.
he had a
Yeah.
great season last year. Um, then you got to talk about J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah. You got J.K. Dobbins. You got uh look, and we can't sleep on James Cook. James Cook had 18
Yep,
touchdowns
James
last
Cook.
year with Buffalo.
James Cook. Yep. Yep.
Uh David
You still got like if New York is actually worth the damn. I'm talking about the Jets. Brees Hall is a good running back.
Brees Hall. The thing that makes see because you got Montgomery too, David Montgomery with Detroit, and Detroit has that two-headed
Yep.
monster.
hmm
You know,
And of course, you already know if he stays healthy, Christian McCaffrey. He's another big name right there.
he's a big name, but I just don't.
Said
Here's
if
the
he
thing.
stays healthy. Big
He
Will, don't
falls.
start throwing salt and try to be a hater right now, cause you
No, the thing is,
don't do it.
He falls out with me. He falls out with me because the fact that we just don't ever like. I'm. Here's the thing. He's so
I'm
good.
trying to follow you right now.
He's so good, but he just doesn't play enough.
That's why I said if he stays healthy.
And it's
I'm talking about
I
if
don't
he stays. It's
I
like
don't
my same
I don't want
same
to put him
sentiments
in the
I have.
conversation.
You can't do that though, cause Jack is it's like Jonathan Taylor. He's been injured the last couple of years.
You're
If he
right.
stays healthy, what we talking about?
You're
You
right.
know what I'm saying? Like if Christian McCaffrey stays healthy, unfortunately, that's the big if. If he stays healthy, you can't keep him out the conversation. But since he doesn't always stay healthy, it's easy to keep him out the conversation. You know what I'm saying? But let's just not act like he ain't one of them big name running backs up there with
You're
your,
right. You're
you
right.
know what I'm saying, up there with your Derrick Henrys. Because when you're really talking about running backs, you talk about Derrick Henry, you talk about your Christian McCaffreys, you're talking about, you know what I'm saying, damn, my head just lost it.
Saquon Barkley.
Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, because we could have said the same thing about Saquon a couple of years ago. Can he stay healthy?
When he's got an offensive
And then
line.
when he got healthy, what did we watch?
So is so Christian McCaffrey. In other words, Christian McCaffrey needs to stay healthy this year.
Yes, he does. We
Yeah.
paid him money. You better get your butt out there and be healthy, dude.
Yeah.
Shit, it's just because he's a 40. I ain't saying it because he's a 49er. I'm saying it because he needs to stay healthy.
Yeah.
And because
Period.
you're a 49er, you need to be healthy, and we paid you.
Yeah.
Get your ass on that dang field and stay. Do something,
Yeah.
bruh. Just it's just honesty. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Absolutely.
You
Absolutely.
can't leave him off. We could
But
leave him off because he wasn't healthy, but if he's healthy, he's talking about the top running back in the league, one of the top running backs in the league.
but this what it did was bring light to like say, okay, hey, no, running backs are worth it, right? Like
They
that
are.
there's some value because the thing
Just look
is,
at.
go ahead.
I was gonna say, just look at some of your top teams. What did they all have?
A running back.
Philadelphia,
One.
the Ravens,
Derrick Henry.
the
Buffalo.
Rams.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Buffalo,
Yeah.
Cook. We everybody wants to overlook because of what Josh Allen does, but without Cook he had 1,000-yard season.
Yeah, he did.
Without Cook doing a lot of things that he do, they're not gonna be that good. Jameer Gibbs, that two-headed monster out there in Detroit.
Yeah.
They have two running backs
Running
out there.
backs. Yeah. And
Without them, guess what? They're not what they are.
yeah,
Josh Jacobs over there in Green Bay.
yeah. And Kyron Williams for the Rams, like
Yeah,
he has been a
he had a sneaky
consistent,
season on
yeah,
people.
he has been a consistent running back since he's been
Mm-hmm.
in the league, and
Yeah,
and that matters, right?
it does.
And
Look at the 49ers.
yeah, yeah,
If we don't have the running game that we be having with being able to interchange out running backs, you ain't talking about San Fran like that. What's the thing that people talk about when it comes to those teams? We punch people in the mouth with
yeah,
what? The running game.
yeah, yeah, for
Only
sure.
teams that really kind of got away from that is like, well, you really can't even say that because you could look at and you could be like, well, some people will say, well, Kansas City. Oh, you really sleeping on Pacheco over there, right?
Yeah, because Pacheco, yeah, you are sleeping on Pacheco. He's a good running back.
There's sneaky good running backs that they got over there.
Yeah,
They create problems for teams. You know what I'm saying? Look at Miami.
yeah,
Achan.
yeah.
That boy is different.
He
You know what I'm
is.
saying? He's
He is.
swift.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
And he gives you problems. He gives teams problems. Yeah, they got speed out there, but the problem is people overlook Bucky. What's his name? Bucky. Is it Bucky Williams?
Yes.
Bucky Williams up in with Tampa Bay.
Yeah. Let me see.
Bucky Irvin. Bucky Irvin is his name. That boy had a good
Bucky
year with
Irvins.
Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Bucky Irvin.
Yeah.
He had a great year, but they've been running. They kind of have a two running back system down there too.
Yeah. Like Bucky Irvin, he was a top 10 back this last season. Efficiency wise, top 10 back.
Yes. And guess what? Nobody was talking about him like that.
Nobody. Yep.
But
And
they
he
were
can receive out of the backfield.
Yes. Alvin Kamara is still another name that's out there.
Yep.
He hasn't been as prominent in the last few years because the Saints let's just be honest.
Yeah, because it's the Saints.
They definitely the ain'ts right now.
No. Yeah.
They because they ain't it.
No.
They ain't it. Yeah.
No, they really ain't. But there is some good.
And just one more name when we talked about like how we said he gets left off because he plays in Arizona, but Arizona with James Conner.
Connor, yeah.
Bro, I can't stand Connor, bro. I can't stand him.
He runs at this other level where it's like, dude, y'all can't tackle him. Like that's how I be feeling.
He runs hard all the time.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna tell you, there is no team in the NFL right now that I could think of off the top of my head that is going to be successful without having a running back.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you another name we didn't mention. Travis Etienne down in Jacksonville.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's a solid.
They trash because they Jacksonville's just trash.
Yeah, they just.
But Etienne, yes, he's another one.
Yeah.
You can literally go around the whole entire NFL and pick out a running back, except for maybe the Giants, because I don't really know who their running back is.
They had a rookie last year. Let me look for it. Also, the Commanders got Austin Eckler? He was solid last year.
Eckler. Yeah.
Yeah, he was solid.
I mean, he's always been solid his whole career.
Yeah, even when he was with the Chargers.
Yeah, he's been solid his whole career. He's been banged up a couple times, but we see what happens when a team doesn't really have it. Look at the Dallas Cowboys; they ain't never really had it. Dowden, even though that was his Dowden or whatever his name is, Dow, whatever they had last year,
Mm-hmm.
he was decent for them. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
they don't have him this year no more. So, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, we're gonna see
Um,
what they do.
so I don't know why you don't. Dude, yeah, he's still with Dallas, I think. Rico Dowdell, whatever his
Yeah,
name is.
and they
He's still with
drafted.
Dallas.
Yeah, they drafted the running back from Texas. Tyrone.
No, he's not. He's in Carolina now. So yeah,
Okay,
he was 1,000 yard rusher last
Russia.
year.
Yeah.
He's gone. So
Tyrone Tracy for the Giants. He was actually not bad. He was a rookie last year. Um,
okay,
yeah,
so he's young.
he
It's
had,
okay. Okay, yeah,
but he
whatever.
had 839 rushing yards.
Solid.
Yeah, he
That's
had,
solid.
yeah, and
But when you
when you think about the offensive line that he was running behind,
yeah.
so
But like when you talking about a lot of teams, like look what happened to Cleveland when Nick Chubbs went down.
yeah,
The
it
Chubbs
changed
went
the
down. He's
dynamic.
been injured the last couple of years.
Yeah,
They offenses look terrible. I don't care who you got out there, but that running game it opens up another avenue, man.
mention, yeah, it does.
They don't get enough credit.
Oh yeah,
Running
no,
backs
they
don't get
don't.
enough credit, man.
They don't.
They don't get the same kind of credit that receivers do unless you're doing Derrick Henry type numbers or something like that, or
Yeah,
Saquon Barkley type ordeals,
yeah,
or Christian McCaffrey type ordeals. You're not getting no credit like that. Like, but they need to pay them because I have yet to see a team really be ultra successful without a running game. You can even sit there and people want to say, well, you could say, well, look at Tom Brady in New England. Do you know Tom Brady in New England? They had some very solid running backs.
yeah.
Very
Consistent,
solid running backs
consistent running
that can
backs.
catch out the backfield
Mm-hmm.
and run.
Yeah,
Like they had some. White was one of them. I think that was his
yeah,
name.
yeah. It
It's kind
was.
of off my top of my head. I can't think of them all, but they had some very solid running backs in New England. I haven't run across any team that has just been offensively geared to pass the ball without a solid running game.
Running game. I mean, even think about when the Rams, when they were able to
Mm-hmm.
do what they were doing passing wise,
Yeah.
we, we had Todd Gurley.
Yep. Yeah, Gurley. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I mean, the running game matters when you're able to be halfway. And I'm gonna tell you here's what makes Saquon Barkley so special. Um,
Mm-hmm.
what makes him one of those top premier backs is I don't know if you ever watched him when he doesn't have the ball, but his ability to block,
Yeah.
his ability
Yeah.
to block is crazy. The way he stands in and he'll pick up a block on a blitz,
Mm-hmm.
it is something special to watch.
I believe in order to be a really good, successful running back, a really good running back, or consider you have to have that in your game.
But yeah, it's got to be part
Like
of it.
you gotta have that in your game. At least be able to block somebody because that quarterback needs that help. They need that protection. You ain't got that, guess what? It's a wrap. But you need to at least have some kind of running game. Yeah, you get your twos and fews where teams just can make it happen by throwing. But a lot of teams that are the most successful teams, they have a successful running game. Like it might be a sneaky.
It might be a
You
sneaky,
never even known
right?
that they got 100 yards rushing. But a lot of games where teams are winning, you look at their stats and you like,
Well, that was what it was for Green Bay last season. A lot of
yeah,
those games that they were winning on the sneak,
mm-hmm,
that was, you know what I mean?
that running
That
game,
running
yeah.
game.
It's
Yeah.
like you gotta have it. You gotta have it.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the one thing that teams want to do? Teams want to make you one dimensional.
Yeah.
It's
Oh yeah.
easier to play against somebody that's one
One
dimensional.
dimensional
If
for
I could
sure.
take away your running game and all you got to do is pass,
Yeah.
and all you can do is pass, unless you got an outrageous wide receiving core, that's the easiest thing. I ain't got to worry about the running
Yep.
game. Oh man, we gonna sit back and we gonna go ahead and shelf this coverage on you, and
Mm-hmm.
we gonna make y'all. You gonna probably gonna wish you had a running back because you gonna dink and dunk all day long because nothing deep is happening.
Josh Josh Jacobs was probably the fourth best running back last season that
I
nobody
agree.
even paid attention to. Like,
I agree.
because it was just he was eating up 5-6 yards a carry. Like, and nobody was even paying attention. They was sleeping on it on it. Um and those are the things, like, I guess it's not as fancy or as sexy as the wide receiver with them catching the ball, but bro,
Mm-hmm.
that running back position is so critical. It's so
Yep.
critical. It's important, man, in so many, in more ways than one.
Yep. If you're not talking about like, we can easily say quarterback is the most, for a lot of people, quarterback is the most important position.
Yeah,
Well, if the quarterback don't have an offensive line,
yeah.
it
It
really don't
all.
matter what kind of quarterback you got, right?
Yeah,
To me, offensive line is the most important position in the game of football.
yeah. Oh yeah,
That's to me.
absolutely.
Because without an offensive line, the quarterback is trash.
Yep. And
9 times out of 10, they
yeah,
can't get the ball off. They can't throw it if your offensive line is trash.
yeah,
The running game does never get off if your offensive line is trash.
yeah,
So, offensive line is to me the most important position in football. If you can't block, your offense is shut down. Period.
yeah,
That's just it. It's a wrap.
yeah,
Quarterback is definitely very important, but it's no less important than a running back because a running back is going to take off. It's going to keep the defense honest.
yeah. Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
Every single piece works together.
Yeah.
So the fact that
The run
quarterbacks get
game
paid the
sets up the
most,
play action.
yeah,
Yeah,
yes, and so the fact that the quarterback is the highest paid position, it's like, well, this is the most important. No, this is the most. I guess you could say it's highlighted the most.
yeah, yeah,
QBs is highlighted the most.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? They say it's the most important position, but we've seen teams win games and they didn't really do well in passing the ball. I mean, we say teams need quarterbacks because every team needs quarterbacks, just like every team needs a good running back. I have never seen a team be successful with a terrible offensive line all the way around the board,
yeah,
a terrible O line. I haven't seen a team be very successful with a terrible running game, and you barely ever see a team be success. I mean, you have seen teams be fairly successful with the average quarterback,
yeah. You have. I
but
mean,
they have to have a great defense usually. So it's something that does accommodate the lack of whatever that quarterback is or whatever. But that's just to be said about every position. Every position to me on offense is, you almost could say, is equaled out. Receivers, to be honest with you, you might be able to get away with receivers not being superstar talents as
you
long as they know how
can.
to
New
run a
England
route.
showed that.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
If they could run a really good route and catch
yeah,
the ball,
that's it. Like, New England was doing what they were doing with tight ends.
yeah, that's a fact.
They
You're right.
it's not to trash the wide receivers that they had, but they were doing a lot of that with tight ends. I mean, that was Aaron Hernandez and Gronkowski.
Yep, that's a fact.
You know,
And then you got your receivers like your Edelmans and them, like,
to run
they
the
were really
underneath
slot
routes.
receivers.
But and here's the thing, right? If Edelman doesn't play for New England, are we talking about Edelman? Who's Julian Edelman? If he ain't, if New England, if
He's a
Belichick
slot
doesn't,
receiver.
right, he's just your standard slot receiver. But he's a name because Belichick and Tom
How to
Brady figured
utilize them?
out how to utilize him
Yeah,
as a Swiss Army knife, as a little tool,
yeah,
right?
yeah. They kind of ran a West Coast type offense because nobody really was taking. They only had one season with Randy Moss. They had somebody that was tearing the cover off the defense.
Defense, yeah, yeah, for sure.
Everything else is a lot of dink and dunk, a lot of like quick passes here, quick pass there, and then somebody might sneak out because of Gronkowski. He
Kowski,
might get
yeah,
open.
yep,
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's a lot of dink and dunks.
yep, definitely for sure. Well, that concludes our episode for today. But any predictions for Monday night for the for Game 5?
I think OKC takes Game 5. Not really no outstanding position, no prediction. I
Yeah,
believe
just
OKC is gonna take Game 5. I think they're gonna find a way to actually overcome and actually take command of the series this time around. They've been dropping the first game pretty much. They've dropped their first home game. They dropped the first home game in Indiana. I think they find a way this time around to win in OKC to take, you know what I'm saying, to
commanding. Yeah.
take command of the series. That's where I'm at with that.
Okay. All right. That's pretty much the same thing I got. As always, y'all, I appreciate y'all joining. Have fun. Hopefully y'all listen
Oh,
to the whole thing. What you got? What you got?
and real quick,
Yeah.
it's not really no big y'all must have forgot, but it is a kind of a y'all must have forgot because I feel like his name has been fallen off, even though he was, and I think the NBA kind of did him dirty just recently. He ain't even been out the league that long. Y'all go check out John Wall. Show my boy some love,
Oh
man.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Go
yeah.
check out
Like
John Wall.
yes, for sure. For
I think a
sure.
lot of people he gets lost in a lot of conversation, especially of most athletic point guards in the league,
But yeah,
because
like
he's overshadowed by your D Rose and your Westbrook. You know they are often the ones that overshadow everybody else when you talk about those athletic point guards that just explosive.
yeah. For sure
Watch
go look
John
up John
Wall,
Wall. Go John Wall
see
got
that
some
boy play,
highlights. He got a
man.
crazy highlight reel.
Washington was so exciting to watch with
Yeah.
John Wall and Brad Beal.
Yeah.
I wish they had better success and that John Wall never got injured like that. But I feel like the league, and I also feel like the league kind of did him dirty to let
Agreed.
him just kind of fade off into the sunset. He really didn't even do all that. It's just kind of like, bro, what happened?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, y'all must have forgot this week. John
John
Wall, he's
Wall.
more of a recent one, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
go watch his highlights if y'all haven't seen him. Y'all ain't know. If y'all want to watch an explosive point guard, when you talk about athleticism and everything like that, he's right up there. If you ain't talk about D Rose 1 or Westbrook 1, 1, 2, and 3, Westbrook, D Rose, John Wall, any order you want to put in, but at that moment in time, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. For sure. John Wall. Appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good weekend. To all the dads out there, you included. Happy Father's Day, bro.
Yes, sir. Happy Father's Day, bro. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. We'll catch y'all next week.
All right. Peace out.
Later. Peace.